Hello Internet and welcome back to more Kirby Superstar Ultra. In the last episode, we defeated King Dedede and got all the food back to Dreamland. I kind of forgot what the plot of Spring Breeze was, even though it's the exact same as the plot in a lot of early Kirby games. This time, Dynablade has disrupted the crops. There must be a reason, but first this has to stop. 5 stages of adventure await. Perfect your copy and helper skills. I'm pretty sure those were perfected in Spring Breeze, but we'll see. So unless those flowers and hills and a single tree and apple count as the crops, how is Dynablade disturbing anything? Dynablade is literally just at the top of a mountain. It's just flying around. But okay. Peanut Plains is our first stage here. We are going to completely ignore this first room pretty much. We don't want Cutter Kirby, even though I never really went over it in the last episode. We will go over it later. We want to grab Parasol. This is one of my favorite abilities in the game because it's surprisingly, effective at going fast. It effectively gives you the ability to dash in the middle of the air. Usually in games, you don't get the ability to dash unless you're on the ground, and then you can carry that momentum into your jump. But no, you can just instantly gain more momentum by holding B after jumping while going in any, forward direction. Parasol is really fun once you realize that, because, I know it's kind of a boring ability in terms of, design and everything, although this is definitely an item that didn't need to be cut from Smash Bros. After Melee, and I miss having Parasol and Smash, but whatever. It's a surprisingly fun ability. It even has a little bit of range. You can see those sparkles at the end of your standard attack. Those deal damage. Those actually allow you to hit things through blocks and everything. It's an effective ability. Which is why we're getting rid of it right now. For Sword. We went over Sword in the last episode. Apparently I forgot that when I was writing my notes because it says we're gonna go over Sword here, but whatever. Sword is fine. It's not as fun as Parasol. You can go up here. I didn't actually write this in my notes, but there's a Maxim Tomato and a 1-up here. So yeah, definitely worth getting. So is it just me, or did Kirby's Epic Yarn confuse anybody else on the difference between a Maxim Tomato and a Metamato? Because I thought they were the same thing for so long, but no, apparently the Metamato is just the only, it's only in Kirby's Epic Yarn. And it's just that one tomato that Kirby eats at the very beginning of the game. For so long, I thought they were just renaming the Maxim Tomato, but that's not what was going on. Okay, I want to go off screen because I want to actually absorb that Crash Bomb. This is our first screen nuke ability. We aren't going to be using it yet. Okay, we're going to be using it now. It is, as I said, a screen nuke ability. It gets rid of all the enemies on screen, including bosses in some cases. Mini bosses like Chef Kawasaki, who we just fought and absorbed, yes, definitely. But mini bosses, or normal bosses, you're less likely to find success there. In this room, we're going to use the ability we got from Chef Kawasaki, because it is another screen nuke. It absorbs all the enemies on screen, and cooks them into a delicious cake and flour cookie sauté. Isn't that wonderful? And we also have a goal minigame here. I didn't do very well on it. That's not bad. We still get a 1-up from that. 3 gets 3 1-ups, 2 gets 2 1-ups, and 1 gets 3 1-ups, I think. I actually don't know exactly what the like going rate is there, but whatever. Okay, so we are in Mallow Castle now, so we are going to... We don't actually need to get Parasol here. For some reason I thought Parasol was important for something in this level. We'll still grab it here anyway. Just because it's a fun ability, again. So this room, completely optional mini-boss. You don't have to fight this at all. If you re-enter the room after defeating them, they will respawn, so you can fight them infinitely. It's basically just 3 normal enemies with a lot of HP. It's very easy, not at all necessary. You can use any downward aerial attack to break those blocks to get access to this room, where we can get Ninja Kirby. Which is another one of my favorite. There's a lot of my favorite abilities just localized in the beginning of these first 2 games. I love Beam Kirby, I love Ninja. Ninja Kirby is awesome. There is one ability it has that I need to take damage to show off. I guess I should take more damage. Okay, stop killing the enemies. Okay, that's not what I wanted to show. I was expecting to take damage there. There we go. You can just hide and then like make an explosion happen if you take damage as Ninja Kirby, which is not an ability you're likely going to get to use. So I'd like to note it. There's a few abilities here that you're unlikely to ever actually use, like the wall cling. Why do you have a wall cling if you have infinite flight? We're actually gonna get rid of Ninja and get Bio Spark as an ally. He is such a badass design. I used to remember thinking that Meta Knight was like the coolest character in Kirby. So Bio Spark was like always my partner just because he looks like Meta Knight. But honestly, Bio Spark kind of looks cooler than Meta Knight in some ways. Also, we just pressed a secret switch. We'll be going over what that did later. Okay. I'm surprised none of those bombs hit me. This room is an auto-scroller with all these, if it wants to show up, nuts. And those nuts fall and explode when they hit you and almost always cause you to lose your ability, which is rough. I could have gotten Cutter there, but the game decided not to let me, so I'll get it now. We'll go over Cutter now, sure. It's not in my notes to go over it now. There's like a specific time when I want to go over most abilities, just because it will be more convenient. But I'll go over what I can now. Cutter is pretty much just, like, you can throw boomerangs, but then if you get close to an enemy, you can do that. It's called Final Cutter, which is Kirby's most popular move from Smash Bros. Probably. Well, the hammer is probably pretty high up there too. Is there anything else we can really do? Non-stop cutter, final cutter, be near foe is cleaving cutter? Oh, that's just the that is just the start of final cutter. So yeah, there's not much to cutter. It's one of the most boring abilities in this game in my opinion. Alright, we failed to get the one up there. It's because you're supposed to get wheel first. Which I will now. Wheel is actually one of the most boring abilities in this game, but I still want to grab it. Biospark would become a wheel, please. Please. Become a... Okay, fine. You won't do it by choice, then I will make you. So Wheelie Rider Kirby is literally just Wheel Kirby, except you're sacrificing more of your partner's like independence in order to use it. And Wheel Kirby just lets you go very fast. You still take damage if you like hit an enemy while you're in wheel form. So this is honestly a very bad ability in terms of dealing damage to enemies. So be careful with it. I'm gonna get rid of Wheelie, just so he doesn't die. And then I'm going to get Hammer. Got a soda and a turkey and more soda. And if we hit this, which you can only do if you got Hammer or Rock at some point, there's 3 free 1-ups. To add on to the extra 1 I'm getting by failing this minigame. Awesome. Alright, now we have a new enemy on the map. We can avoid them, actually. This is Trial Room 1. There's basically a bunch of free abilities here. But there's only one that we haven't gone over yet. I think. We haven't gone over Fire yet either, but we're going to be going over Fire later. Went over Ninja. We didn't go over Bomb. Okay. We'll go over Bomb right now, actually. Just in the trial room. Bomb Kirby. You can throw bombs. You have a crosshair to see the general angle that you're aiming for. The crosshair moves up very quickly as you hold down B. So yeah, be careful. You can also dash to throw it straight ahead. Pretty sure that's pretty much it. That's all there really is to it. Be near foe to bomb drop. You can do a bomb set. Bomb Kirby is more useful than I actually give it credit for, to be fair. But, I don't know. There's not a lot to it. Bomb is one of the most boring abilities to use. We'll go over Plasma now. Not here, but in the next level. And by the next level, I mean this boss fight, because it went right over the next level. Iron Man. Plasma, you rotate the D-pad in order to charge, and you have different attacks depending on how much charge you have. So like right now we have a little charge, so we get, I think that's Plasma Arrow or Plasma Missile. Plasma Blast, Plasma Needle. We have a lot of different abilities we can use depending on the charge. Plasma is actually a really fun ability that I didn't understand as a kid. And I wish I did, because it would 100% have been my favorite ability back then. Like, light green used to be like my favorite color. And the ability is just fun to use. It's fun to just mash the D-pad to charge up power. You stop the crash bomb from going off. That's good. Stop both of them even. We're gonna spawn Plasma Wisp here. Why am I doing that? We didn't actually... Oh, we did. We do need to do that, but I did it way too early. Don't need to do that yet. Okay. Sorry for checking my notes so often. It's a little hard to just have them all pulled up consistently in the middle of a 2D platformer. Which is... this is kind of a bad option for a first LP, honestly. 2D platformers are kind of hard to commentate. Just because you have to be so focused on what's ahead of you at all times, because you don't have, like, a 3D camera to know what's at all sides of you at all times. And my reaction times are bad, which also adds to it. This room is very windy. This is the power of blocking. Okay. This room is where we are going to finally get rid of Plasma in a moment. Right now. Because right here we have Yo-Yo Kirby, the coolest ability in the game. If we do this, if we do this and this... Oh, okay, we missed it. That 1-up is hard to get. I think you'd have to be like right above it and then use Yo-Yo maybe? Let's see. Yep, there we go. I don't know if I've actually ever gotten that 1-up. Alright. So yeah, Yo-Yo Kirby is all about, like, style, and I think that's really cool. Alright. So if we press B and, if we press down and up and B really quickly, we can do that. It is like the most useless attack in the game. It is only there for style. Because if you pause the game, this isn't just any yo-yo. Swing up and down or break spin. Try them all to look cool. the entire point of the ability is just to look cool, and I think that's neat. That's a good use of an ability. Oh god. No, I want Yo-Yo. I want Yo-Yo. Please don't disappear. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what actually determines if, like, taking a hit is going to get rid of an ability or not. It seems to be really random in terms of when it happens and when it doesn't, because sometimes just being frozen will do it. Sometimes you just have to get hit by, like, the most powerful attack in the game or something. It's ridiculous. I don't like when there aren't consistent reasons to do things like, for things like that to happen in games. Other than, like, critical hits in, like, Pokemon and other RPGs, obviously. There's a reason those are random. Alright. And then the Warp Star. And... yep. Alright, there's Fighter. Gotta get rid of him, and I don't want to fight the boss without a power-up. Or a copy ability, as they're technically called. Bugsy. He kind of jumps around a little. He'll grab you occasionally, like this. See, that looks like an attack that would make you lose your ability, right? If you absorb Bugsy, not Bugsley, you get Suplex Kirby. Just basically, you grab things and you throw them in different directions and with varying strengths depending on the buttons you press. I'm not going to be going super in-depth over copy abilities that have all sorts of button combinations and everything, because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of copy abilities. But we are going to suplex the wildlife. I only put it in my notes to get suplex because suplexing the wildlife is kind of funny. Just the sentence. Which, you know, it kind of is. So if we turn our partner into suplex, we actually get the mini-boss we got it from as our partner, which is really cool. We're gonna get Fire Kirby now. We aren't going to be using this long-term in this level yet. But if we hold B and then the opposite direction of where we are, this is one of the most broken abilities in the game, and we won't really be seeing why until much later. But keep this attack in mind, because it's very, very powerful. Also, Kirby acts weird in water. If you're floating, then he'll float right to the top, because he's like a balloon. You know. Cute idea. Kirby being a balloon. Another ability that will spawn a mini-boss as your helper is Hammer, which we have right here. If we throw this to Bugsy, become Bonkers. So yeah, there's a few abilities like that where you'll get a mini-boss to be your helper. They don't have more HP or anything, they're the exact same as all the other helpers in the game. They just didn't have other enemies to give those abilities to, but still neat. I think the concept of having the enemies help you as helpers in the game is, like, really neat. I just wish they did more with it than they did. Didn't mean to kill Bird on there, but that's okay. We can't hit that with any abilities we have access to right now. I hate these flowers. They suck you up and then, like, what are you supposed to do? Okay, I want to get Bird on here. Show Wing Kirby. It's not Bird Kirby, although I always think it is Bird Kirby. This would not fly by today's QA standards, but, I mean, here we are. Kirby wearing a headdress. And face paint. Like, this is... this would not fly today. This game was released in 2007. We're gonna make Bird on an ally. We're going to be showing Wing Kirby in the next episode, because it's actually very effective for something coming up. For now, we want to hit that fuse and then use fire to get over here quickly to get this secret room, where there's all sorts of items and food and Maxim tomatoes and a 1-up. Yeah. And then if we head backwards in this room, we have our second secret switch, and looks like I'm accidentally going to get the copy ability. And when I say copy ability, I don't mean Kirby's default ability, I mean copy. We'll see what this is. That's it. That's the end of the sentence. Right now. It's literally the same. It is literally the same thing as sucking up an enemy and, like, absorbing them. There's no reason this should ever be used, usually. We'll be going over a time when it can be used in a future episode, but for now, copy is just a waste of your time, honestly. I want to grab sword, apparently. I don't want to grab sword, though. Okay, if we hit any of those switches, all those rocks turn into lava, which is kind of annoying. Okay, I'm gonna grab Mike Kirby here. And ignore all these, which is kind of hard when Birdon is going to hit all of them. We can ignore Mike for now. We get a second chance at it in a minute. Okay. Mike Kirby is what we're going to show right now. That's it. That's the ability. Now we have to let Birdon deal with the rest of Mr. Frosty's health. And hope he survives. Helper AI is not very good, so that's what this is going to be a showcase of. We took out half of its health. The rest is up to Birdon. Birdon. Birdon, you moron. Oh, Chili! Hello! Have you come to save me from this hell? Come on, you got this. Just do an attack! Come on! Yeah, Helper AI is bad. This is what I meant by they just don't really help. He guarded and then unguarded right as it was hitting him. Okay. One down. The reason I had him deal with that is because this is a gauntlet of 3 mini-bosses. So I want to use one of them against Bonkers and let Chili deal with the rest, thank you. Chili. Come on. Come on. You got this, Chili. One more hit. Come on. Alright. Chili is proving himself to be a lot more effective than whoever we bird on. So this boss, you can defeat in one hit by saying Jasmo or whatever. I always heard Jasmo, but I don't know what Jasmo means. And halfway to 1. That's unfortunate. Looks like 2 only gets you 1 up too. That's unfortunate too. Everything's so unfortunate now. Before heading on to Dynablade's Nest, we are going to head to Trial Room 2. Again, we have shown pretty much all these abilities except for Jet. So Jet is what we are going to be going into the final battle with. Okay, Dynablade's Nest. Good build-up. So out of these abilities here, the one I would probably recommend the most for fighting Dynablade would be Sword. However, it doesn't really matter. Just come in with whatever ability you like most. Your copy ability really isn't going to matter a lot of the time in Kirby games, so yeah. Dynablade will land on whatever side of the screen you are on. With Jet, you can just kind of damage it by flying over its head. You can damage any enemy this way with Jet, for what it's worth. But this is why I wanted Jet, because it's kind of funny. It's also, I wrote in my notes, what better way to take out a bird than with a fighter jet? And Dynablade was a girl all along. Kirby was a foster parent to some birds for a while Dynablade recovered from him literally flying a jet over her head for no reason. Dynablade did not disrupt the crops or the cops. Didn't really disrupt anybody except for Kirby's nap. Kirby's a little monster. Next time on Kirby Superstar Ultra, it's gonna be a short one. Gourmet race. See you guys then.